Ladies and gentlemen, on your feet and welcome.
All right, welcome in. We are in the Madden franchise. We're taking a brief respite from our Eastern Michigan University dynasty to do the 2011 pro season that was theoretically running concurrently with the Eastern Michigan dynasty. So we do not have any NFL players. We have all of our fantasy football teams. We're in the preseason here. My team, the Batavia Colliders, is going up against a now defunct Culver City Krakens from the Scuffle Immersion. But I wanted to point out a couple of things. First of all, don't love the menus on this game, but in the settings, I had to turn off all the menu music so that I didn't get copyright strikes against me on the YouTubes. But you can take a look at what the playlist was back in 2011 when this game came out. Beastie Boys, we have RIP MCA. Very quickly, I also wanted to point out that all of the teams I made are cupcake teams. So all of the players are fictional. All the teams are cupcake teams. I wanted to make the draft more impactful so that these rookies that we're seeing coming out of the Eastern Michigan dynasty can come in and contribute right away. One of the issues with that, though, is that all of the teams are the same. And I want to just take a look at my team. All of these overalls are question marks because since we're a cupcake team, every single player is considered a rookie. And the way this game works is they don't tell you what the rookie ratings are until the end of the preseason, and you have to cut people along the way. But I can get a pretty good sense of what my players are based on what all of the other players are. I'll show you what I mean. If we go to all NFL, and let's see, you can see that all the kickers are 94s. So I think there's a pretty strong chance that my kicker is a 94. Okay, it looks like other than Chad Pennington, who is a free agent, we've got 74 at quarterback. But down here, you see all of these running backs, they're 77s. And then a bunch of 73s. This is my guy, question mark, but I'm guessing he's a 68. Tight ends are all the same. You're going to get a 79 at left tackle. You're going to probably get, those are real guys, a 79 at left guard. And maybe this Derwin Reed guy they think is an 89 is probably a 74. All right, right guards are 77. Right tackles are 78s. In some ways, I feel like these stats are also too high for a cupcake team, considering I have guys in the 40s and 50s at Eastern Michigan. Your left end's going to be a 70, and your right end's going to be your gamer. He's going to be an 82. Looks like you're going to have a 76 at defensive tackle. And look at all these amazing left outside linebackers in this league. A whole bunch of them. So no one in the whole world is going to need to draft a left outside linebacker. Your middle linebackers are 75s. Your right outside linebackers are 72s for the most part. Your corners are 75s. And your free safeties are pretty good. 84. I think our strong safeties are 75s. Those aforementioned 94 kickers. And our punters are pretty mid. And one of the things that I remember from the old PS2s is they had a lot more logos to choose from. But you can see my logo there behind Benton Cannon. Actually, it's pretty lucky. My team's the Atomic themed, and they have an Atomic themed logo. But some surprising things, like I really had to just mix and match the best I could to match the identity. So there's only a handful of different things. All right, one of the other things that I found interesting about this was I had to go through and name every stadium. And some of the stadiums were named by the fantasy football team owners, and others I had to kind of make up. But it doesn't matter. After doing that for 32 teams, you never once see the name of the stadium when you're playing in the franchise. So a missed opportunity there, I think, for this franchise. The other thing I remember from the PS2 is that, and maybe I'm just misremembering this, but I thought you could have like a capital letter be your logo. So for those teams that didn't have a really good matching logo, you could have like an E like Eastern Michigan does, right? But anyway, really surprising there was no skull and crossbones, so the Pirates don't have a really accurate logo. But at least the team colors are the same. You can actually put in a hex code, or no, actually it's RGB. But I was able to get those RGB colors from the internet and then apply them to this, which was very time consuming. But ultimately, we've set up our franchise with all the teams, so that looks good. All right, so here are all my players. I don't know what any of them are worth. We're going to let that preseason run itself. I'm not going to worry about injuries. I'm not going to play any preseason games. We're just going to let it roll, do our best to cut the players that look like they're the worst. And I'm guessing that if we have guys signed to 7 and 6-year deals, they're not guys we want to cut. This is one of my favorite names on the team, Sintamuel Cheeseborough, coming out of Florida here in Gainesville with the Gators. So hopefully we can make him into an amazing player. All right, and now we have to cut players. So they're kind of giving an estimate about who's good and who's bad and who we should cut. This guy says he's a 6 overall, but you can see none of these stats are really available. It's really annoying because they give you a bunch of unrelated statistics and then hide the good ones from you, which is kind of pointless. Like, I think in a preseason game, I'd be able to know if this guy can throw the ball or not. And perhaps if I'd actually played the games, I could get a sense of that, but I don't have time for that. I'm guessing like all the quarterbacks are bad, or at least this guy is bad, but I'm not yet ready to cut anybody from there. I have to cut 4 players. Cutting me will be the worst decision you've ever made. I don't think so, buddy. Okay, 62 speed wide receiver can go. All right, so this week was a lot easier to cut, guys. Okay, we have Jermaine Glover, middle linebackers, out for a week with a meniscus tear. 57 throw power. You can get all the way out, and it's good because I have to cut 8 players this week. No use for that. It's looking like my guy is Greg McLean. EJ Foreman has 95 speed. I think Eric Foreman was the guy from that 70s show. Let's look at speed on these guys. 47. Javonte Gates. You are far too slow to play right end. You're cutting me. I hope to see you in the playoffs someday. I'm not worried about that. Okay, you can't play left outside linebacker with 56 speed. 90 potential. Okay, buddy. Gregory Gerardo. 60 speed. Yeah, I don't think so. That's easy. Those guys won't keep up with anyone. Derwin Reed breaks his hand and he's out for 10 weeks. All right, looks like I have 2 quarterbacks left, and Greg McLean, my starter, says he's injured, although I didn't see him on the injury report. Let's see if that has popped up now. Oh no, my starting quarterback is now out for 9 weeks, and my right tackle looks like he's out for 3 weeks. Tough preseason game. All right, so let's see who we have to cut. Now, one of the quirks about this game that I don't like is this potential rating. So guys that have a potential of C pretty much never get out of the 70s. So really the only guys that ever develop are guys who are A's or B's. And it seems to be something that happens regardless of how they play. It's just they either go up or they don't, and has nothing to do with achieving any goals in games or anything. So that's unfortunate. So with that being said, any of my created players, if they come in and they don't have A potential, I'm going to reset them. I'm going to boost them all up to 99 on everything so that their potential becomes A, and then I'm going to put them back at their stats. So even if they have bad stats coming in from college, they're supposed to be good players, so we want them to have A potential. So Greg McLean is my quarterback with A potential, and he's out 9 weeks. So we're stuck with Orlin Hamilton. Now that we know their overalls, we can just go to the worst ones. All right, that free safety with 68 speed. All these guys are F potential. Decorius Norris has C potential. All right, let's get rid of the slow, strong safety because I'm a little short-handed at center, I think. All right, here we go. We're going to import our NCAA draft class. Eastern Michigan 2011. And we'll be able to do some scouting over the course of the season. Although that scouting system is also bad because just like in the preseason, you don't get any useful stats. Where is scouting? Right there. So we can scout 15 players, but none of the stats that we get are useful except for offensive line stats. So really the only thing to do in these first regular season scouting situations is to scout offensive linemen. I will scout, there he is, Jason Allen. Jason Allen was our Heisman winner from Ohio State. So we'll put him on the list because he's one of the guys we're going to follow. And a little quirk here, if I'm sorted by potential, they kind of already rank them by their potential. So it's a little bit of a cheat even though you can't see what's going on. There's really no point in scouting guys who aren't offensive linemen during the regular season. Okay, so let's see what we've learned. Here's the Heisman Trophy winner. He kind of looks like Usher. Projected round 4. So here we see we get pass block, run block, impact blocking. We don't get strength and footwork, and I don't know what those do. You're not going to see anybody from Eastern Michigan on this list just yet. Might have to give that a few seasons before we're able to recruit the type of players that can go pro. Asian Hammond injured. Sorry for Asian Hammond. It's like me, but the Asian version. We know the quarterback's out. Right tackle's out. All right, let's just talk about a few of the rules that I'm going to set for myself. First of all, I'm not going to be signing any free agents unless necessary. And in the case where it's necessary, I'm going to be looking for younger players, either players I've had before or unsigned free agent rookies. Probably not sure about whether or not I'm going to play in the playoffs. I might just simulate those, although I do want to do one Super Bowl because I think this is the game that has the Obama White House visit. All right, here's another quirk of Madden. Notice that Tavares Mason is number 83, and so is Melquan Potts. So I have to manually change these numbers because apparently it's too hard to code the concept of not having duplicate numbers even in the same position group. All right, so looks like the next available one is 88 for Melquan Potts, and that's what you will be now. It says keep player without saving. Makes a lot of sense, right? Here's another guy with a duplicate number, Jared Benson. All right, we'll make 68. So many repeated numbers. Very annoying. And we're short a quarterback, so we're going to go back to a guy we cut, Josh Whitney. So we get him for 1 year. And it turns out he has A potential. So let's try to get him in. And we're done. We're going to start week 1 against the Revolution.